Welcome to this deep dive, everyone. We're really going to dig into the Seven Habits, that book that's practically a legend by now.
Mm.
And I get it. You're not here for a casual flip through, right? You're here because you want to squeeze every drop of wisdom out of this thing and make it actually work for you.
That's the spirit. This book's got some seriously enduring ideas, and we're all about making them practical, things you can use right away.
Totally. One of the things that really struck me early on was Covey talking about the character ethic as opposed to just like the personality ethic. He's not just talking about quick fixes here. It's like deeper, more fundamental change he's after. I don't know about you, but it feels like so many self-help books just focus on these surface level techniques, right?
Yeah, it's like slapping a Band-Aid on a broken arm sometimes. Like, those techniques have their place, for sure, but Covey's arguing that real lasting change comes from building your character, from the inside out.
Yeah, and he's got some pretty powerful stories from his own life to back that up. Like that one where he's trying to help his son, but he realizes that his own paradigms were actually part of the problem.
Oh, yeah, that one's a classic. Speaking of paradigms, though, what was Covey's whole deal with those again? It's been a minute since I read that part.
Oh, like that optical illusion he uses in the book. The one where you can see either a young woman or an old woman. He was saying those are kind of like paradigms. They're the lens we're using to see the world, shaping how we interpret, well, everything,
Yeah.
even if we don't realize it.
Right. I see the young woman, you see the old woman, but it's the same exact picture. Our perception is totally different. So how does that play out beyond just, those trippy illusions, like in our everyday lives?
Well, think about it. How many times have you gone into a situation thinking you're being totally objective? And then later you realize, whoa, I was seeing that whole thing through my own filter of assumptions.
It's like a constant reality check, isn't it? And, Covey would probably say that recognizing those paradigms is the first step to actually shifting them, changing how we see things.
It's true. It makes you think differently. And this idea of shifting how we see things kind of ties into another big thing. He talks about the maturity continuum, going from dependence to independence. But here's the thing. He doesn't stop there. He says it's about interdependence. That's where the real magic happens.
And we don't talk about that enough, do we? We celebrate being independent, which is important, don't get me wrong, but so much of life relies on us working with, collaborating with, depending on other people.
Right. Like teamwork, for example. Good teamwork, I mean. That's interdependence in action.
Totally. He uses this great analogy. He says trying to operate from a purely independent mindset, especially when you need to collaborate, is like trying to play tennis with a golf club. It's just not the right tool for the job.
Oh, I love that. So it begs the question, right? Where in your life is that independence mindset maybe holding you back? Where could a little more interdependence actually help you get better results? It really makes you think.
It does. And you know what else makes you think? That whole PPC balance thing, production versus production capability. I always loved how Covey used that metaphor with the goose that lays the golden eggs.
Oh, yeah. That one sticks with you. Okay, so refresh my memory. What was the whole point of that goose and those golden eggs again?
So it's all about finding that balance, right? Between getting those results we're after the golden eggs while also, and this is key, taking care of the thing that's actually producing them, our little goose friend. Because if you sacrifice long-term capability just to get a few quick wins, well, that's how you end up with a dead goose and no more golden eggs.
Oof, yeah. Didn't he have that example about the manager who just ran that machine into the ground to hit his production targets? And then, of course, it totally breaks down on his successor's watch. Talk about a tough spot to be in.
And it happens all the time, right? But in our own lives, are we pushing ourselves to burnout for that promotion? Neglecting our relationships to meet a deadline? Think about it. Where are you tempted to prioritize that immediate golden egg, even if it means, maybe hurting your goose in the process?
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. Am I sacrificing my goose for a few more golden eggs right now?
And that leads us right into habit 2, which I'll admit is a little bit of a tough one to face sometimes, beginning with the end in mind. But it's powerful stuff.
It is, but it can be a little, morbid. He wants us to picture our own funeral.
Right, but not in a creepy way. The idea is to think about what you'd want people to say about you. It's about figuring out your values, what truly matters. And I remember the first time I really did this exercise.
It really makes you think about the kind of legacy you want to leave, doesn't it? It does. And then how do you take that and actually build a life that reflects those values? Which Covey says is where your personal mating statement comes in. Essentially, you're writing the script for the life you want to live instead of just letting things happen to you,
Exactly. It's about being intentional. And speaking of writing a new script, remember that story Covey told about Anwar Sadat?
Oh, yeah. Talk about a paradigm shift, right?
Seriously,
Mhm.
the guy was the president of Egypt, totally committed to war with Israel, but then something changed. He basically rewrote his whole belief system, decided to go for peace, and it literally changed the course of history.
It's amazing what can happen when you change your, fundamental beliefs about something.
Right. So it makes you think, what about us? What outdated scripts are we still holding on to? What could we accomplish if we just let them go?
It's a powerful question. And you know what else is powerful? That time management matrix that Covey talks about. Because, okay, we've got our values, we're working on those scripts, but then there's the whole time thing, right? Like, how do we actually make time for what matters? And Covey definitely had some strong opinions on that.
Oh, yeah, he did. He wasn't afraid to tell you how to spend your time. And that's where Quadrant 2 living comes in, right? It's all about making time for things that are important, but not necessarily urgent.
Yeah, that's the tough part. Because those urgent things, they really grab your attention.
They do. They feel so pressing, but often they're not actually moving the needle on the things that really matter in the long run. Quadrant 2, that's where the good stuff is. It's those activities that are really going to move you towards your goals, boost your well-being, that kind of thing.
But they don't always have that, in-your-face urgency. So it takes real discipline to actually prioritize them.
It does. It's so easy to get caught up in that whirlwind of urgent but not important tasks. And then those big picture Quadrant 2 goals just kind of sit there gathering dust.
It's the worst. I've been there way too many times. But when you can actually pull it off, when you can say no to the good, so you can say yes to the great, that's when things start to get interesting.
That's the heart of effective time management right there. And you know what else is really important for effectiveness? Habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. I think this one might be my favorite.
Oh, for sure. That one's huge. Especially now when it seems like everyone's just talking over each other all the time. Covey was really onto something with that empathic listening stuff. It reminds me of that story he told about the executive who was trying to convince his boss to try this new training program.
Oh, yeah, what was that? He just couldn't get through to the guy, could he?
No, he was hitting a wall. And Covey pointed out that it was because he was so focused on the logic, the facts, the logos, right,
Yeah.
of his argument. But he was totally missing the pathos, the emotional side of things.
He was so focused on being understood that he forgot to try to understand.
Exactly. He was missing that, human connection.
Yeah.
And then he totally changes his approach, starts really listening, trying to see things from his boss's perspective. And of course, that's when things start to shift.
And that's the power of empathy. It can completely transform a conversation that might have just turned into an argument. And it's not about being fake nice, it's about actually trying to understand where someone else is coming from, to see things through their lens.
That's powerful stuff. So for people listening who are like, okay, that sounds great, but how do I actually do that? How do you put empathic listening into practice? It's got to be more than just nodding your head and saying, I hear you.
Right. It's got to be genuine. So think about it. Is there a relationship in your life that could benefit from a little more understanding? Maybe it's a coworker, a family member, maybe your partner. And ask yourself, am I really trying to see the world through their eyes? Or am I just waiting for my turn to talk?
Yeah, it's about shifting from, here's what I think, to, okay, help me understand where you're coming from, which honestly can be a lot harder than it sounds.
Tell me about it. It takes a conscious effort to set aside our own agendas, even for a little bit. But when we do, that's when we open up the possibility for what Covey calls synergy habit 6. And that's not just about teamwork, It's about recognizing that sometimes 1 + 1 can actually equal 3 or 10 when we approach our differences as strengths.
Totally. Synergy isn't about everyone agreeing all the time, right? It's about those aha moments, those breakthroughs that can happen when you've got all these different perspectives in the mix bouncing off each other. Remember that story Covey told about that class he taught?
The one where he had the whole lesson planned out, but then he just kind of let the students' insights drive the conversation.
Yes. And it turned into this incredibly synergistic experience, he said.
Yeah.
Way more powerful than anything he could have created on his own.
It's like magic, right? But it's not actually magic. It's about being willing to let go of that need to be right all the time and being open to the idea that we can create something even better together.
It's true. And that takes humility. It makes you realize that you don't have all the answers.
Hmm.
And when I think about synergy, it actually makes me think back to those earlier habits we talked about. Like, you can't really have true synergy if you're not also trying to seek first to understand, or if you're not coming at it from a win-win perspective. They all build on each other.
They absolutely do. Okay, ready for the final habit, the one that makes all the others possible.
Hit me.
Sharpen the saw. Habit 7.
Okay, so this is the self-care one,
Mm.
right? But Covey goes a little deeper than bubble baths and face masks, doesn't he?
He does. It's not just about pampering yourself, although that's important too, of course. This is about consistently renewing yourself in every way, physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, all of it. Like, you can't pour from an empty cup, right? It's such a great visual, right? It's about taking care of our mental and emotional well-being. And one thing I appreciate about how Covey talks about it is that he recognizes that renewal looks different for everyone. For some people, it's meditation or journaling. For others, it's going for a run or hitting the gym. The point is, you got to find what works for you, what fills your cup back up.
Exactly. Me. I love getting lost in a good book, or just spending time out in nature. The important thing is to remember that taking care of ourselves isn't selfish. It's essential. If we want to be there for others, if we want to achieve our goals, if we want to show up as our best selves, we've got to take care of ourselves first. It's like putting on your own oxygen mask before helping others, right?
Yeah.
And it's amazing when you look at all 7 habits together, how Covey created this framework where they all fit together.
He really did. It's a classic for a reason. But one thing that's been on my mind, Covey wrote this book before smartphones, social media, all of that. It was a different world.
That's true. I hadn't even thought about that.
So it makes you wonder, how would he update these habits for the digital age? Would he add an 8th habit? Sharpen your digital saw or something.
Right. Now that you mention it, it does make you think, like, we've got all these amazing tools at our fingertips now. But are we using them in a way that actually enhances our lives? Or are they just distracting us from what really matters?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's almost like Covey gave us this incredible toolkit, and now it's up to us to figure out how to use it in this crazy, always-on digital world.
Which is kind of exciting when you think about it. It's like a whole new frontier for applying these principles.
It really is. And that's the beauty of it, I think. These habits, these principles Covey wrote about, they're timeless. But how we apply them, that's a journey. It's a constant process of learning and adapting and figuring out how to be our most effective selves in a world that's always changing.
That's a perfect note to end on. So thank everyone for joining us for this deep dive on the 7 habits of highly effective people. Hopefully you've walked away with some new insights, some things to ponder.
And most importantly, some actions you can take. Remember, effectiveness isn't a destination, it's a journey. So keep seeking those aha moments and keep sharpening your saws, everyone.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. It would be a great source of help to maintain and develop this channel and the correlated website. This book overview was presented to you by olbooksummary.com. Are you interested in more insights into personal development books or motivational and inspirational books? Please visit olbooksummary.com and you will find a library of the most helpful self-development and human character development books overviews. See you soon with the next books overview video.